Shung-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang, boom-ba-do, ba-do-ba-do-ba-day. Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again, shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could...
Welcome back to America's highest rated and only house hunting show, Suburban Hunt. Today we'll be helping former World War II veteran and his lovely wife make the great transition from the big city to the up-and-coming suburbs. Actually, here they are now. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Williams. I'm so glad that you've decided to look into moving into the suburbs. You know, I lived in the city as a child, but as I grew up and raised my family, I far preferred living in the suburbs.
Good morning, Lana. Yeah, me and my wife here figured it was finally time to settle somewhere a little more safe and quieter. And you know how construction really skyrocketed after World War II. Did you know 1/4 of the country's entire house stock wasn't even here in the 1950s? So I'm sure there are plenty of houses to choose from.
Now, there's really only things I have in mind for my dream home. First, I need a really large kitchen because I love cooking and entertaining. Second of all, I'll need a nursery for raising little baby James.
All I really need is a garage for my car so I can go to and from work.
That's not a bit... Never mind. I have a few houses to show you today that fit exactly what you're looking for. Here is the first charming house we'll be showing to you. It's only about 20 minutes away from New York City, making it an ideal location for your family to grow up in a safe neighborhood while having access to different opportunities in the city. The best thing about the cost of this house is that its mortgage has decreased substantially due to the Federal Housing Administration and the Veterans Administration. The FHA insured a 30-year mortgage with a down payment of as little as 5% and interest at 2 or 3%. The VA only required a token of $1 down for qualified ex-GIs. These helped ownership jump to a whopping 60% in 1960 compared to 45% in the past half century.
Wow, with programs like that, what middle-class American wouldn't be able to afford a home?
Wow, what a gorgeous house, and in a nice little calm neighborhood. Also, Stephen served in the Korean War, and his military friends and their wives were also talking about the GI Bill, which you mentioned earlier. But what does that entail for our family?
So, the GI Bill gives every returning soldier benefits designed to stimulate America's economic growth. Not only does Stephen get a year of unemployment and free college tuition, but the military pledged to back all home loans, which allows you to buy a house with little to no down payment. And Stephen, thank you for your service. Here we have the next house to show you. It's just perfect for your family. The colors really just match your personalities, if you know what I mean.
This house looks really similar to the last one.
Yeah, it even has the same wreath.
This suburb is very similar to many of the time. It's primarily white and the community is very homogeneous. I must say, suburbs are excluding many old and non-white members of society, but unfortunately that is a major reason young couples want to move here. Some even have restrictive covenants that prohibit races other than Caucasians from living there. Even though the Shelley v. Kramer case fought and won against segregation in suburban areas, the community here is 100% white.
Oh yeah, I heard about that case in the news recently. I mean, I get what it was trying to do, but I really don't think it's been effective in stopping segregation.
I mean, considering that this community is 100% white, I'd say that it's failed.
The other thing that has shaped this community is the white flight that is going on in the cities. Many white members of society left the city due to lack of jobs, but many black Americans can't do the same due to redlining. Real estate agents have zoned on predominantly black living areas from reserving loans, so some black Americans are unable to leave the city.
Oh, that's horrible. I heard that in 1950, the 12 largest cities had 3.6 million white members leave. That is exactly the reason we are moving. There are so few jobs since all the factories are moving to other locations, and we don't want to get stuck in a rundown city.
I used to work at the Ford factory in the city, but now they're moving to a rural area, so I'm gonna try to work in the suburbs.
I'm sure we'll find the perfect house that will give your family the desirable economic achievements, but we'll be right back after this short commercial break. After a long day at work, sometimes the only thing you can do is go to bed. But unfortunately, we cannot let our children starve.
Mom and Dad, I'm so hungry. I don't want any leftovers again.
Okay, have any ideas? How about we try something new?
Where are we going?
Let's try fast food.
Yay! Wow, Mom and Dad, this is the best day ever.
A hot meal within the fraction of the time.
With minimal cleanup and worry.
I never get to eat foods like Egg McMuffins and cinnamon rolls. This is great.
Thanks, McDonald's.
Okay, here is one of the houses in the world-famous Levitt towns, pioneered by Abraham Levitt and his two sons. His goal was to create affordable housing for the average American. This is really a unique opportunity, and these houses are known for their organized structures and well-manicured lawns.
Yeah, I was just about to say again that these houses all look very similar. I mean, I'm not complaining. These lawns are gorgeous.
And all this space in the back would be perfect for entertaining other families.
Okay, let's take a step inside the house. So, one thing you may notice is that a lot of these houses follow a similar pattern. They're simple 4-room homes.
You know, I was looking through the Sears catalog the other day, and I noticed a lot of these houses are very similar to what I saw while I was shopping for clothes. I'm rather nervous about moving to the suburbs, if I'm being honest.
Well, more and more of young couples who move do so only physically. With each transfer, the decor, the architecture, the faces, and the names may change. The people, the conversation, and the values do not. Many making this change feel the same, but I can assure you that your home and values will stay the same no matter if you live in the city or here in the suburbs.
I never thought of the suburbs in that way. You know, the other day I was reading The New Yorker, and it talks a lot about how there was a difference in what American people value, such as a cornucopia bringing forth a lot of new values, such as homes, technology, to the family.
We were driving up here, I noticed a few different buildings that were marked for the community. Yeah, these will really help us get to know and meet our neighbors, which is really important now, seeing as we don't know who's a communist.
Of course, you must have noticed the 9 community pools and the various VFWs that are located in the neighborhood. That is one of the benefits of being the first mass-produced suburb. We were able to create a really large sense of community.
So, if we wanted to put a mortgage on one of these houses, do we have time to think it over, or?
These houses sell incredibly fast. When we started the development, nearly 2,000 homes were rented within 2 days. Now, we used to make people sign an agreement saying that they were white in order to live here, but we're not allowed to technically do that anymore.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see a place where everyone and everything looks the same.
This is a really promising home, and I think with some of these communities, it would be great chatting with the other ladies and living in a neighborhood. And it is a perfect distance for you to drive to Manhattan every day.
That is true. Nearly 80% of the men in this town work in Manhattan. We pride ourselves on being made of self-made capitalist men. As our founder William Levitt said, no man who owns his own house and lot can be a communist.
Wow, this community really is a dream.
Here we have a house located very conveniently near the highway. You can have easy transport and access to the city, but also enjoy the amenities that this wonderful town has to offer.
This is literally the same house.
You know, that sounds great and all, but where will I be able to go shopping, and where will I be able to even buy my groceries in this busy area?
Well, the nearest supermarket is about half a kilometer south, the regional primary school 2 kilometers east, and a trip to the post office is an ordeal if you do not have a car. These suburban areas make cars a necessity. And I know that you, sir, are very fond of your car.
I am. I enjoy going on drives with my family or on day trips. There's so much more to be offered on car trips nowadays, and so many new fast food restaurants and stores.
And with the new National Interstate and Defense Highway Act, there will be so much more for you to access with your car. The government has authorized $26 billion to construct a highway system that is 42,500 miles long. The main reason these highways were constructed was because cities needed an easy way to evacuate in case of communist attacks. But that's besides the point. The house we're looking at here has a lovely garage for your ever so important vehicle and is exceptionally placed in proximity to all of the aforementioned places you want to go.
Wow, I am so glad we own our own car and we can keep up with the times.
So after seeing all 4 of these fine houses in the suburbs, have you two come to a decision?
Well, we talked it over and we came to the conclusion that there's no wrong answer because all these houses look the same.
So we chose house 2.
Another successful house hunt for another lovely family. Catch us next week when we help Mr. Balkus find his dream house. Thanks for watching Suburban House Hunt on HGTV.